Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Thank you for joining us for our virtual Hanamatsuri service for 2020. Following the kansho, today's ritual or chanting will involve beginning with the Sambujo, and then a statement of today's celebration. And then for the chanting, I'm going to be doing what's called the Kambutsuge. And this is a short gatha or verse that recites the idea of this Hanamatsuri service, because Kambutsuge means the bathing of the baby Buddha. And then for today's Dharma message reflection, we're going to have Minister Assistant Mrs. Camille share her reflections for this celebration of Hanamatsuri, the birth of the historical Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, who awoke to become what we refer to as Shakyamuni Buddha. Mrs. Pading is a Dharma school teacher, longtime parent within our Buddhist Church of San Francisco community. Her children have participated in our YAO, or Youth Athletic Organization, and also in our scouting programs, Boys and Girl Scouts. And she is currently an instructor with the Girl Scout and Boy Scout Religious Award program called Padma and Sangha and Metta. She's the domestic counsel to the Pading family. That includes Dr. David Pading, son Matthew, and daughters Anna and Grace. Professionally, she's on with the law firm of Myers Nave that specializes in law dealing with employment and different types of human resources issues. So she'll be sharing the message for today's Hanamatsuri, or flower festival, or that's the Japanese Buddhist term for the celebration of the birth of the historical Buddha. Thank you for listening and viewing, and I'll come back to offer the closing reading, meditation, and the acknowledgments and announcements for today's service. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Acknowledge the presence of Amida Tathagata entering this practice hall as we joyfully offer flowers of welcome. Ojo Shakanyorai We respectfully acknowledge the presence of Shaka Tathagata entering this practice hall as we joyfully offer flowers of welcome. Ojo Jippo Nyorai Niudo Jo We respectfully acknowledge the presence of the Tathagatas of the Universal 10 Directions entering this practice hall as we joyfully offer flowers of welcome. Honjitsu koko ni San Francisco Bukkyokai Sesshu to nari うやうやしく三没牽制の将来を仰ぎ慎みて本年度の花祭り法要今週数如来へこの真実心をもって法恩の誠をいたし仏徳を三端し祭る恋願わくば如来の大慈大悲心をもって無料の功徳一切至上の上に越したまわらんことを Today, on the occasion of the celebration of the birth of Siddhartha Gautama Shakyamuni Buddha, the members of this Sangha, the religious community of the Buddhist Church of San Francisco, gather in virtual connection to celebrate the Buddha's birth into the human world. So with deepest reverence and gratitude for the all-inclusive wisdom and compassion that Shakyamuni conveyed as the spirit of Amida Butsu, we reaffirm the three treasures. Namu Kie Butsu, we take refuge in the Buddha, the timeless life of wisdom and compassion, the source of awakening. Namu Kie O, we take refuge in the Dharma, the universal truth of impermanence and interdependence, the illuminating light that is Buddha's wisdom. Namu Kie So, we take refuge in the Sangha, the community of people dedicated to living harmoniously in the universal truth, a life manifesting Buddha's compassion. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Naman Dats, Naman Dats, Naman Dats, Naman Dats, Naman Dats. Mokuge, the pouring of the sweet tea gatha. Gagon kamoku shonyorai. I shall pour sweet tea on the numerous Buddhas. Jochi Shogon Kudokuju, the wonderful virtues and pure wisdom of Buddhas. Gojoku Shujo Ryoriku shall enable all sentient beings to cast off their defilements. Dosho Nyorai Johoshin, and be awakened to the absolute mind of the Buddha. Keishu Daisho Bogyabon. Thus I bow in reverence to Shakyamuni Buddha. Tenjo Tengen Rosokuson, to the greatest and the noblest among beings. Gato Kong Ikudokusui. We now pour sweet tea of the greatest virtue. Kang Yoku Nyorai Johoshin, and extol the Buddha of absolute purity. Ojo An May this merit virtue be shared equally with all beings. May we together awaken the Bodhi mind and be born in the realm of serenity and joy. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, 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 Namanda. So I'd like to thank again Camille Sensei for joining us and sharing the Dharma message for this year's Hanamatsuri, or Buddha's birthday celebration. I'm looking forward to joining the other viewers together in hearing and receiving Camille Sensei's special message. So with that, I would like to now conclude with this meditative reading, the Hanamatsuri Service. I am a piece in the Buddha's golden puzzle of love and life that connects the world. I must keep my peace bright and strong. I will try to be kind and honest with all beings, including myself. I will try to think clear and helpful thoughts, to speak clear and helpful words, and to do kind and helpful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every piece in the Buddha's golden puzzle of love and life become bright and strong, and may we all realize and become perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. With that, we'll conclude today's Hanamatsuri service. I'd like to once again acknowledge and thank Kevin Yoza, who is our production engineer who helps to produce this YouTube video, and to Keith Kojimoto, who amongst the various hats and responsibility he has taken as the president of the Buddhist Church of San Francisco, he's been my technical instructor to help me get through this process of learning the process of putting these videos together in a usable form. For today's announcements, I would like to acknowledge Aina Tao, who has shared almost daily reflections and thoughts that she's picked up from from online as ways to help us cope with and kind of adjust to this, as we keep using the word unprecedented situation that leaves us in limbo, not knowing, well, even personally, I've been losing track of what day it is. But in a way that shows that we're kind of present, because we can't project to the future anymore. And the past is hopefully we're getting past what the situation is caused. So anyway, I'd like to do that, and also invite anyone else who would like to online share some thoughts or reflections that we could put possibly into our website with your agreement. So acknowledgements. Also, last week I gave you a list of things that I began to appreciate, the utilities. And then I thought of also the fact that it's interesting to notice how clean our city is becoming. And so the trash workers, the people who are taking care of the refuge, all the things that we litter and throw out, we have people who are continuing to take care of that responsibility. But as an announcement, I'd also like to bring our attention to, we're hearing a lot of efforts being made to house the thousands of people who have been abandoned and living homeless on our streets, trying to find them some reasonable and safe accommodations. But also in that, I'd like to have our government leaders consider addressing the situation in our detention centers, where asylum seekers, families have been split up and living in very difficult circumstances. And I would question to ask how healthy those situations might be. And so to bring some attention to the needs and safety of those who are incarcerated in those detention centers throughout the country. I have a suggestion now that we discussed at our mindfulness sessions that take place by Zoom on Wednesday evenings, the possibility of developing an online book club. And we'll come up with a date and time for us to check in with each other, sharing our reflections upon a book. The book that I've suggested that we begin to read together is titled Why Buddhism is True, and it's written by Mr. Robert Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T. And this recently has been a book that I've found especially helpful and meaningful in trying to express the insights of the Buddha, not as in order to become Buddhists, but just to become more aware human beings and look at how we're kind of conditioned to not necessarily live as philanthropically or as kindly as we would like to because of certain kind of instinctual attitudes we have as mortal Homo sapiens that are conditioned by survival instincts. But anyway, Mr. Wright has provided a very insightful and helpful way of connecting what they call evolution theory with Buddhism. So that's something that we've discussed at our mindfulness group, and hopefully we'll be able to put that together so we'll be able to continue to interact through that medium. Okay, so with that, we'll again close today's Hanamatsuri service by thanking you all for staying present, staying connected in this virtual world that we're trying to create as a Sangha that's more than a building, but it's a sense of being together in the heart of oneness that we affirm with our tradition's expression of acknowledgement and gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda